All right, how do you cut your hair during the quarantine? A lot of people have been asking me this who know that I have been cutting my own hair for the past 23 years and give myself a haircut every 2 weeks or so just to maintain the sides because they get really fuzzy. So, here's the secret. You need a razor that has this lever, okay? This brings it close to the head as possible. This brings it as far away as possible, okay? So when you put your blades on, let's say a 3 blade, okay? When I'm referred to, I don't know the technical terms, but this I'm gonna say is a 3, and then this is a step down, okay? So I'm gonna start, you always wanna start a step down from kind of what you want your base is. Kind of, I have mine in 3 layers. I use a 3 here, then a 2, then a 1, and maybe a half on the sideburns. So I'm gonna start with it closest to my head, okay? I'm gonna go up, and I'm using this as my mirror, what I'm looking at, because I have it on selfie mode, and I have a hand mirror. I'm gonna go, so I have it closest to my head as possible. And then to blend, I move it far away from my head. And then I blend that line, going horizontal. Okay, this one, when you're bringing it, when you're doing the initial cut and you have it close, you're gonna go vertical, up and down. And it's not going to be as apparent because I have been cutting my hair every 2 weeks, every week sometimes. So that line isn't going to be as apparent. But you want to start with a longer blade first and then work your way down tighter because you can always cut more later. You can obviously go the other way. So now I'm bringing it on the full 3. And I'm going horizontal to blend that line in. Okay, we're gonna go horizontal. And this is not the best mirror because this is a camera. So I'm gonna go looking and fixing it in my other mirror first before I show you that it indeed does work. Okay, so you can see that there's no, let me make sure, yeah, there's no line, and you're doing the blending. So that's fine for right now. Now I want to go tighter. I'm gonna go on a 2, but if I start up high again, the line's gonna be very dramatic. Okay, so I'm gonna use a 2. I'm gonna go on the low setting. Same thing. I'm gonna go up, but I'm not gonna go as high. I'm probably gonna just stop right here. Okay. And go all the way around, vertical. Now I'm gonna go to my other mirror just so I can actually see what I'm doing, because I just realized this is not working so well. Okay, so now I've got a 2, and you can see it's pretty much, you can see where I started and where I stopped, right? So what you do then is you bring it away and then you go sideways. Let me go in my mirror. And you want to go over that line with your long blade, blending that 2 and that 3 so that it softens that transition a little bit. Okay? Now I'm doing this really quick, just for the sake of this video, so we don't have to go on forever. Okay, so let me see how that looks. Okay, looks decent. Okay, and if it doesn't, who gives a fuck? Because you ain't going anywhere anyway. It's gonna grow out. Okay, so that's a pretty decent fade. I like my sideburns a little bit more closer. So I'm gonna go with a 1.5. Again, bring it close. Here we go. My temples kind of grow a little faster, so I cut those. I'm not so worried about them being so long. Okay, now this thing, you can't go too high on this because unless you like your thing really high and tight, that's a personal preference, but I now then will use this shorter blade to really go maybe here because I don't want to overlap on that 2 situation. Okay, again, up and down. And kind of when you go vertical, you want to kind of scoop it up and fade it away. Okay, fade it because you want a sort of a gradual line. You know, you don't want it to be so dramatic, so that kind of helps soften it a little bit. Okay, let me see how that looks. All right, decent. Okay, now I'm noticing that I have a big kind of like a lighter to darker situation, so I'm gonna fix that a little bit. So remember I used a 3, so I'm gonna go over that with my 3 again. I'll put it on and go over it again. So with a long 3, let's blend that. Let me go to my mirror. Blending that 2 and that 3. Now, sometimes if you went too tight with that 2, which is what I did, I'm gonna now bring a step down and try to fix that. And hair's weird. Sometimes in one direction it'll cut, and in the other direction it won't. So I tried cutting it this way horizontally, and I wasn't hearing any buzzing. And I went the other way, and then all of a sudden I heard the buzzing, which meant that hair was getting cut. So again, I'm just looking in a different mirror to be able to see what I am doing. So there, that's a lot better. So now we've got that transition. Looks a lot better. And so that's kind of it. And on the bottoms, let's see. So on the sideburns, I kind of go with the 1/2, which is the lowest blade possible. So I set it closest to, and this one I have to look into the hand mirror because this is a very critical one. And this one you really want to scoop in and out unless you really just want shaved sideburns. So scoop that. Bring it up. And bring it far away to blend that line. And it's not cutting that way. Go the other way. You can hear some cutting happening. And looking good. Okay, so that's kind of how you maintain the sides and the back. You can obviously go lower and tighter, and it helps to have no clothes on because otherwise your clothes are going to have a bunch of hair in it. So that's kind of it. And how to maintain the top is pretty easy. You just get a pair of scissors. You don't want to use a razor for that. What I like to use is one of these. This sort of gives a jagged cut so that it's not such a straight cut. with one of these. Sometimes these help. If I have my bangs personally just above my eyebrows is kind of where I maintain. And it goes, anything that hits my eyes, it gets too heavy and dense. So I kind of like maintain the length. I don't need to do it right now because this is how I like it. And I kind of use the straight scissor to cut, keep that length. And then any sort of lightening and texturization, I use this to sort of like grab some hairs and just run it through, and it kind of doesn't make that line so harsh with a straight cut. So good luck, and keep looking good during the quarantine.